Hello everybody and welcome back to Path of Exile 2. I am doing yet another character. I got kind of bored with my, well, I want to say bored. I got kind of just, I don't know, disparaging, or what's the word I'm looking for? A fair amount of despair for my Control Freak Chronomancer. It does the higher and higher you get, you start getting into tier 14 and 15 maps, it just doesn't have the DPS necessary to sustain that character, so I ended up just kind of getting rid of it. I couldn't see a way. I tried a bunch of different combinations of different cold spells and things like that to try to, you know, get the DPS up there to where it's something that was reasonable. I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. I was trying some Comet, and I was trying some Cross Bombs and some other stuff, and it just, I don't know. I couldn't get a reasonable damage output. So I decided, I found another build where it was focusing on an electric build for the Mercenary, because, I don't know, I'm kind of tired of the freeze builds. Kind of tired of the freeze builds. And, I don't know, there's just something about the Mercenary freeze build that I have right now that's just slightly unsatisfying. I don't know why. It was satisfying at first, but, I don't know, there's something about it. There's something about it. So I'm not getting rid of that build. That build is still pretty deadly. But I wanted to try something. I wanted to try again with the galvanic shards slash whatever the whatever that high tier electric machine gun skill is. I forget what it's called. The name isn't coming to me. That's fine. Currently in Act 2 regular. I just started this character today. Figured I'd go back and, you know, every once in a while, it's nice to just kind of go back through the campaign again. This kind of is. Now, unfortunately, I would say fortunately, got ourselves another, yeah, I can upgrade this and I'll still have a level 7 later on, hopefully in Act 3 when we're able to get our second skill gem. Currently following, I mean, as always, I'm following the build guide because anytime I try to build my own, I do my own build, I don't know. You pick things that seem like they should work, but without, the game seems to be built in such a way that unless you are able to pick really good things to pair up, you just can't get the kind of damage output that would make the game fun to play. I guess that's kind of what I'm looking for. Like, if you don't have an in-depth knowledge of how the mechanics work, you're just not going to, like, most of these, like, a lot of the builds and stuff rely on uniques to make them work, and I really hate that approach, because it makes it so that if you're not going to go through and do the research to, like, look through all of the different uniques to see what's going to work and what won't, I don't want to have to do that. I just want to be able to look at the skill tree, put together a reasonable build that, you know, maybe isn't going to kill, like, you know, the pinnacle bosses super easy, but at least is going to be able to kill, you know, tier 15. Like, I know people talk about tier 15 maps and it's the highest map, but that's not really that, like, compared to, like, pinnacle bosses and stuff like that, it's not really that, it shouldn't really be that big of a deal. You know, I went and bought gear for the character, I went and, you know, I tried to do a bunch of different things. But it seems like if you want to focus on, you know, if you want to focus on controlling things, there just doesn't seem to be a way to get enough damage. I don't need to be, like, one-shotting bosses or anything like that, but I also don't want to have to spend, like, 10 minutes killing something. Like, that's annoying. So, you know, I put a bunch of skill. Excuse me. I just ate, and it's causing me to have some congestion issues. What was I saying? You know, oh, I dumped a bunch of stuff into cold damage, cast speed, you know, build up on freeze, just so, you know, we could maximize our cold output. Wow, how did I go all the way around and somehow did not find the entrance? Ooh, that's slightly annoying. I went out of my way to, you know, get as much cold damage as possible, as much cold damage as possible, as much freeze damage, or as much freeze buildup as possible, as much cast speed as I could get, and I was, you know, I was approaching level 80, and, like, it got to the point where even killing white mobs was just starting to become pretty annoying to do. And so I was just kind of done with it. Let's see, we're going down this way. We're supposed to, the next 3 levels, we're supposed to get this stuff over here. I didn't bring the build up because I didn't see a point. Because I'm kind of going, the build kind of has you going in a straight line. So I'm just going to kind of follow that. I don't like this. I should have went around the outside because the exit's going to be on the edge. Duh. But that's all right. This will take us over there. Anyways. The point is that if you're going to choose control, yeah, you obviously have to have a little bit of a sacrifice in the damage output. But I feel like the hyper specialization that this game seems to require is like, I'd like to have an all-rounder character that can do a little bit of everything and do it well. You know, I want to be able to control and damage and defend, not excel at any of it, but have enough to where, you know, it feels like this game forces you to pick what you're gonna be. You know, you're either gonna be a DPS character or you're gonna be a tanky character. Like, we're not playing World of Warcraft. I want to build a character that's, you know, I want to be able to build a character that's an all-rounder, without having to do ridiculous amounts of research to figure out what specific piece of gear and what specific synergies and all of this stuff. Like, I want to be able to just toss some points into a certain category of things, toss some points into another category of thing, like, you know, and have that work. Have it be something that takes me all the way to the end of the game, and not, you know, not necessarily, obviously you need to have a top tier build to kill the high level bosses and stuff. Okay, that's fine. I'm fine with that. That makes sense. It's perfect. It's a perfectly reasonable supposition. Cool, fine. But, you know, all the way through tier 15, you should really be able to do that with just putting together a reasonably logical build. And you just can't. You have to have a, you know, highly researched, highly synergistic build that just, you know, has a bunch of different things that play off of each other to make your build powerful. And I don't know. I disagree with that. I disagree with that approach from a design perspective. You know, because it makes it so that you have to wait for someone else who is willing to put in the time and effort to do it, to come up with a build like that before you're able to really do anything. You know? Because even if I put the time and effort into, like, trying to research a bunch of stuff, that doesn't mean I'm going to be able to figure out, you know, what things will work together to do all of that. And I don't want to have to. I want to spend my time playing the game, not researching. Who wants to sit there and, like, who wants to sit there and research? No, that's what the internet's for. That's what AI is for. Like, I know people are like crapping on AI because it's making people stupid. As somebody who spent a significant portion of my career having to research things, being able to just ask the AI to provide me with an answer and a source, you know, it's a beautiful thing. I'm sorry, it just is. It just is. Doing things the hard way just to do things the hard way, I find that to be dumb. You know, path of least resistance is always the correct choice, assuming as long as it continues to give you the result you're looking for. Nature proves this. All right, we're gonna. So sometimes I'm able to do crazy tons of damage with my galvanic shards. Other times, not so much. Not really sure what the. Let's get some armor shredding on this guy. Switch back to galvanic shards. Come on, shoot, shoot, shoot! This guy dead. Ow. Let's get this guy armor pierced. Where is he? Every once in a while, I like to switch back to my... Oh, no, don't want any of that. Don't want any of that. Every once in a while, I like to switch back to my armor-piercing rounds just to keep the... Just unload a magazine of armor-piercing rounds into them. I feel like this is probably doing more damage overall. Yeah, I think we're killing him faster with this. He seems to have a high elemental resistance or something that's causing him to be able to just withstand my galvanic shards. So we'll just burn him down with this. This ability goes on for way too long. I could just focus on hitting him. Come on. And we obligatory have to stop what we're doing to dodge mechanics. Alright, we're gonna switch over to our other thing here so we can get a little bit more damage out of this. Like, if I could stay right on top of him, I get max damage, obviously, but... Alright, that takes care of that. Mastodon tusks. Grab a bunch of gear. And... I can live with all that. Let's move on. Come on. Nothing there. Give them the tusks. Grab all of that. Then we can disenchant that. Get rid of... I don't think I have anything I need to up... I mean, we can upgrade the armor-piercing rounds, obviously, but... We're only really using 2 abilities right now, so... Let's see, we'll get this and that. 340 is still higher than 260, so we'll go ahead and swap that out. And do that. And we'll break this guy down here. Boom, that. Boom, that there. And let's just check and see if they have anything better for me. I don't imagine that they will. No new armor yet. Just check to see if we have any plus 20% movement speed available. It does not appear so. All right, let us go to the next area, which is going to be the Titan Valley. So yeah, you know, I'm trying to do a daily dose of Path of Exile 2, just because well, sometimes I get a decent number of views on it, other times I don't, and I'm at the point in my channel now where I really got to start focusing on games that are getting me in the hundreds of views. Like my Elite Dangerous stuff consistently gets me, 100 plus views per video. And I really need for all of my games to, I really need to be playing games where all of them do that, because the growth of my channel right now is just highly unsatisfying, if I'm totally honest with you. Ah, how convenient. All right, so we can get our checkpoint here, and then we'll just go around the map, grab the rest of the stuff here. So I'm not sure what games I should be playing that will get me the view numbers that I'm looking for, but Path of Exile 2 doesn't typically do that. So, it's a question in my mind. Every once in a while, like, there was one video that got over 1,000 views, and that's not normal for the Path of Exile stuff, so it was kind of weird, but every once in a while, I'll get a video that just does really well. But it's not consistent. I gotta find some consistency in getting the views.
Is this a graveyard for no wonder.
If I get right on top of them, I can do some pretty decent damage. Because obviously it's like shotgun. It's a shotgun blast style ability. So obviously it's going to do more damage close up. Hey, Cowled Helm, we need that. That's the next tier of armor. Definitely looking forward to that. As a matter of hold on. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and go back real quick and see if we can upgrade it. And then we can run around with the cool looking Cowled Helm. We'll probably hold on to that for the rest of the game until we get an upgraded version of it. All right. Are you serious? That is super annoying. Why would you do that to me? There are certain abilities that should only apply to certain gear. Nobody is going to be walking around with a minion build using mercenary gear. That's so dumb. All right, well that ended up being a waste, but that's okay. They're starting to drop now, so ideally here pretty soon we'll be able to upgrade our gear to a Cowled Helm, which will look kind of cool. Nice. Okay, coming over this way. We gotta grab this guy, and then I think we go down that way at some point. But we'll be off the recording by then. Oh, come on! I hate these. I wish you could. I wish they had an option to turn those off. I would love it if they would add an option that turned off non-campaign specific things. If you don't want it, like I just want to play the campaign. I don't want any new stuff in the campaign. I just want to memorize, I want to just muscle memory my way through the campaign to get to the map, and then I'll go and do the new stuff. I don't know. I know that's not a popular opinion at all. I get it. Most people want to have the new stuff because you want something different. Me personally, I'm used to just grinding through games as quickly as possible. So for me, I want the campaign to just be a boring repeat that you just get through as quickly as you possibly can. That's what I want. I want it to be that way. I want it to be something that is so mana recovery. I want it to be so repetitive that you can just do it half asleep. You know, you don't have to think about anything. You don't have to pay attention to anything. You're just grinding through the level up process. Because, you know, for me, playing video games is just something to do. It's not something... I know. A lot of people play games like this wanting to, you know, be challenged, I guess. I don't know why. I don't know what the purpose of a challenge is if you're not going to impress anybody in the video game. Like, even if you're impressing other video game people, in the tier of things that you would want to be impressive with, I would never advocate video games being that. If you want to do something impressive, go out in the real world and do something impressive in the real world. Otherwise, you're lame. You're lame. If you get self-worth out of playing video games, you're lame. You just are. You just are. Video games are something to do. It's a diversion. It's something to spend your time on. Even if you obsessively play them like me, in the back of your mind, you know that video games are a massive waste of time. There is no value in it, other than, you know, having something fun to do. So, that's my thought on that. Huh. A couple levels below where we should be. I'm hoping this last one's over here. Huh. Guess it's gotta be in the middle somewhere. So let's go up this way, I guess. Gotta try to stay close to him so we can max out the damage there. Ow. Yeah, let's switch over to the physical. Then I don't have to worry. Then I don't have to worry about. I can swing around and just do straight physical damage, and he'll just die. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be over here. So we went up there. When we went all the way around the map. We have one more seal that we need to get, and I don't recall having seen it. So maybe it's in the middle here somewhere. We'll just have to go that way and hope that it works out.
Oi, let's get away.
Oh. I thought he was the bad guy. So yeah, for these elemental guys, I'm just gonna do it like this. I'll take that because it has... Alright, I guess it's up on the middle over here, maybe? I don't know. I almost always, every time I've played through this, it's always been around the edges of the map. I don't remember ever having seen any of these show up in like the middle of the map. Well, I guess they can. Interesting. I mean, it's always a possibility. You always have to be ready for that to be a possibility. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before, or I just don't remember. I've done this so many times now. It's certainly possible. I just don't remember. We'll pick that up, but I've already had a dyad crossbow for a little while now, so the odds of it being... I don't really want to waste a bunch of currency trying to upgrade it. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to bother, because I don't want to waste a bunch of currency trying to get a marginal upgrade. I'm going to wait for the next tier of crossbow, because we've had a dyad crossbow for a little bit already. All right, I think we're going to try to go just straight left. So we'll try to go left as much as we can. So for clearing the maps, I've been using the galvanic shards. Depending on the boss, sometimes the galvanic shards actually out DPS's my armor-piercing rounds, but most of the time, going with the armor-piercing rounds for the bosses tends to do better. Alright, I guess we gotta shift our focus to going down then, because going left is just continuing to run into dead ends. So we'll go this way. I guess left and down is probably... I saw the chest. We're not high enough in level for it to be worth the time to go do that. If it was a yellow chest, maybe I would have, but... This one's close enough, we'll do it. Alright, let's try to go this way and then left. I have several stun build-up gems on my armor-piercing rounds as well too, so it breaks their armor and, you know, rapidly builds up stunning. But sometimes it's better to just do it like this.
Easy.
But it's inconsistent, you know? Sometimes my galvanic shards do a crap ton of damage, other times it just barely pecks away at them, so... I'm not sure what the mechanic is that causes it to do more damage, if it's just the resistances on the monster, or what the deal is, but... For the boss, I will break his armor, switch to the galvanic shards, and see what does more. You just kind of got to test it out until we get to the Shockburst round. That's the one I was looking for. When we get to the Shockburst rounds, it'll be a different story, but for now... Ow. It seems like that does more damage. Unload a clip, or unload a magazine of the other ones, just to keep his armor down. I don't know, I feel like the damage is about the same for both of them, so rather than constantly switching back and forth, I'll just wait until the little groups of things start showing. I was really trying to avoid that. Until the little groups of little flying things show up, and then I'll galvanic charge them to death. But I feel like I know I'm not getting bigger chunks, but the little chunks are going away faster, and I think that the overall damage output is about the same. And rather than constantly switching back and forth between rounds, I'll just keep his armor down and DPS him this guy. This does take a little bit, fortunately. Ah, crap, I'm gonna die. Only by some kind of crazy luck did we survive that. By all rights, I should have died right there. Just need some better DPS, man. Weird he hasn't done one of his big I-beam thingies yet. Well, and then he does... But then I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the one where he drives his knife into the middle and then just, like... blasts everything away. That's twice I really should have died and somehow didn't. Alright. That's twice I should have died and somehow didn't. Certainly not complaining, but, you know, the randomness of this game is just, I don't know, it bothers me. I like consistency, and this game just really does not want to give you that in, like, not even a little bit. It goes out of its way to make itself as inconsistent as possible. Okay. Let's go ahead. We'll get our we'll get the horn done, but other than that, that's gonna go ahead and be it for today's episode. Hopefully you guys had lots of fun. Be sure to click the like button, subscribe to help us reach 10,000 subscribers. Join as a member for early access to videos, among other perks. Or you can just leave YouTube's version of a tip with that thanks button. I also have PayPal and Patreon links for those of you who prefer to go that route, because some people do like to go outside of YouTube to help out with channels, so that option is there for your convenience. So again, thanks for watching. Be sure to come back for the next video, and I'll see you then.